want to introduce you short, Nichole O'Donnell from Massachusetts, actual in the nowhere in Georgia, right? And Nichole is a firefighter and a paramedic. And she's an author, the author from the Diary of a Broby book. We have it here. It made all the way to Germany. So great. And yeah, we have you here today in this interview, and we want to ask you a little bit what you've done in this book, what have you written, and how your life as a firefighter works. So thank you first for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for having me. This is great. I'm excited.
Great. Yeah. So greetings from Germany.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, greetings from the US.
Here in the back we have the US. So everything there. Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you.
So, okay. When we look at your book, it's clear pretty quickly. This isn't just about firefighting. It's your story. Was there a moment while writing that surprised even you?
I want to say probably the whole process when it comes to surprises. I want to say when I got the official "we're going to publish you" email, I was taken back because I struggled with learning disabilities my whole life, and the fact that somebody finally believed in me. It was just the initial, wow. Fire engineering books, they're super credible. Biggest credible publisher in the fire service, global, nationwide, and they took a chance on me. I mean, I was 23 years old, so I think it was the acceptance overall that really starstruck me amongst writing all this. I mean, I took a chance, big risk, and that was that. It blindsided me. I was not expecting it. So that surprising factor had to have been when they accepted the proposal. We're going to publish it. That was a very star-striking moment, and one of those, like, this is super cool, and I'm super fortunate, super, very lucky to be in the position I am. So.
Wow. That's great. Yeah, you already shared a bit of your past in this book you wrote. What from that still stays with you today? Maybe more than people on outside would expect?
So I'd say you're never too old to start over, and just because you hit rock bottom, it doesn't mean it's your end, and it doesn't define you. They say you're gonna reach struggles, and guess what? If you're failing, so-called fail, it's not a failure because you suck. It's your first attempt in learning, FAIL. You're gonna make mistakes, and those are expected. You just gotta be open to the unknown, and I walk by faith, not by sight. So it's a little bit of all of that. So.
That's great.
Yeah.
Great.
So a lot of people talk about resilience. But when was a point where you felt anything but strong?
Repeat that last part again.
When was a point where you felt anything but strong?
I want to say the moment that I hit burnout, my first 6 months on the job, because I was carrying, I think, put on me as a kid, that until it turned into a moment of almost killing my entire crew driving. And that's because I was just on autopilot, and I didn't realize it until I had to have a wake-up call with my captain. He sit me down, powwow meeting, and basically, you need to find an outlet. This job, you can see yourself out those doors as quick as you let yourself in. This job will break you, and you need to find something that works. So the passion with writing emerged, all of that, but hitting burnout very, very early on because I didn't put my pride to the side and kind of accept that I had stuff that I was bringing. I need to be tough. No, you need to address it. You need to talk about it. You need to take care of yourself, because you can become as quick of a liability as you will an asset. So.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Well, especially at the beginning of this job, you describe your journey as a Brody. Yeah, that's the beginning of a firefighter. You call Brody in the US, right? And when did your initial motivation turn into real pressure? What was the point, or when was this point?
When did my motivation turn into pressure? I want to say it was probably, I was motivated the entire time, but it was also the entire year of trying to be the perfect Proby and trying to just overall not to screw anything up, because you're expected to make mistakes. But I was like, if I make mistakes, I'm going to let go. If I make mistakes, they're going to think I'm stupid. They're going to think I'm incompetent. It was the initial always being a bull in a china shop, not being able to take in the television. Just the entire year, it was always trying not to make mistakes amongst all of that. So it was, I put more pressure on myself than I needed to the entire time from start to finish. And even now, I put pressure on myself. I don't think it's ever truly gone away. I definitely got a lot better at controlling it and getting it down, but so much just I put a lot of pressure on myself because I have a lot of high expectations. I don't think that'll truly ever go away, but I'm also high in my belief that that's why I work as hard as I do, because I feel like nothing's ever enough, and it just keeps me going and keeping me always be confident at my job. Because at the end of the day, if you decide that you just don't want to train and you no longer can do the job because you're complacent, you just don't care, and then somebody gets hurt or doesn't go home or somebody dies in your care, you have to live with that the rest of your life, and I just can't ever. With the exception of if somebody loses their life, that's on me. So I carry a pressure all the time. It's been throughout my whole from start to finish. But I've always been motivated because I've always wanted to be good at what I do. But you'll never stop learning in this job. And the second you stop learning, you should see yourself out those doors, because you always have to be a student of the craft. You always have to master the craft and just keep continuing to learn. There's so much to learn, and you have to be teachable in the job.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So if you go back to the very beginning, was there a moment where you now think that's when the job really grabbed you?
I'll have to think about one. If you go to another question, I'll try. I got to think of something for that one.
It's no problem. We cut the silence out. So take your time.
Yeah, no, yeah, you'll have to cut through another one. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that one.
Okay, no problem.
problem.
Then we
No.
take another one.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, no, you're good.
No problem. Then sometimes are moments in this job that really change you, right? And was there a moment that stuck with you where you thought, this is changing me right now?
So I'd say it ties a little bit before the job into the job itself. When I started, so when I got hired in my first department in 2021, when I sat down for my interview, the deputy looked at me. He's like, "So today you're no longer just Nichole. You're no longer dirt biker Nichole. You are now firefighter Nichole. You're somebody that people look up to. You're somebody that people call. Like, you have to be the one that people are calling 911 and they can expect that you can do your job. You're confident. And, like, would you want to be the one showing up to call 911?" So I say that, and then overall how I went about the job, because when I started on one department, it was a wake up call because I used to live a pretty crappy life where I didn't make the smartest decisions and drank heavily and burnt a lot of bridges because I didn't think I was going to see 25. And then when I got the initial book publishing deal, I'm like, all right, it's got like a year and some change to really kind of change things around and really set myself up and kind of fix my bridges in my past of the holes that I buried and relationships and the people burned over the years. And I had to face those points head on and kind of address them as like, you're not that person anymore, but you be a role model because you're coming into a world and now you're getting published. You need to be somebody when they research and they come to like they can trust, and you don't want to lose that level of trust that takes a very long time to build and it takes seconds to lose. So it's a little bit of when I started, then the publication coming into that, and then beforehand of the life I used to live, I'm like, I wasn't who I wanted showing up. And then when I got into the position, I did career completely full time in 2023. I was like, my fitness wasn't where it needed to be. And that was really the wake up call too. Like, you need to get in shape. You need to become the one you want showing up to save somebody's life. You need to be the one that when somebody calls, it's like, oh, you can do the job, because citizens and even interviews, the first 30 seconds, somebody's making that impression of you and they have their opinion on you, because everybody has their own biases. It's a mix of a little bit of everything over the course before and then into the job and really getting into it. So
Understand, yeah.
So when we listen to that, it's not just physically demanding. Honestly, what was harder for you? The physical side or what was happening in your head?
I like to be strong. I like to really, really be strong, and I like to pick things up and put them down. But I want to say the mental aspect, because it's always been, you need to be good at what you do, and always think like somebody is always judging. I mean, that people are going to judge no matter what. You can't control how people think. It's the mental side of things, because a lot of us who are overthinkers, like, we put some pressure on ourselves, and we put more pressure on ourselves than the average person ever will. I mean, we're our own biggest critics. We're our worst patients. We don't want to go to the hospital. Well, guess what? Until somebody basically holds you with like a knife at your, like, you need to go to the hospital and get checked out. Like, we're the offenders out of everybody. It's the mental part was more difficult than anything. I mean, physical, it came with time like anything else, but it's mental. It's always that unwanted pressure, and you do it to yourself. And I don't think it's really avoidable. It's just finding those outlets. Like, mine's writing, mine's exercising. Other people might have a harder time finding an outlet that's an easy escape for them. So
Yeah. Most time. Yeah. Now I have to search my question there.
Nice.
Thank you. Are there
that's why I have an editor, because I can't spell. So they deal with the work for me after.
No problem. Are there things from the fire service that still stay with you today, even thought you've learned how to function with them?
I want to say it's the mental and physical well-being overall, because honestly, if you show up as a physically fit person into somebody's home, or like anywhere in general, like put yourself into the general public and you're a very physically fit person, like, people automatically know you hold yourself with discipline. It's the same thing with habits. Once you get into a schedule, once you get into a structure, it's very hard to get out of that. Not sleeping all the time. I mean, whether you're on the job or off the job, you never sleep. You will never sleep normal, not even until you after you retire. You're lucky if you're going to sleep normal. But the fitness is the big one, and then just always like wanting to do more, wanting to. In general, it's a mix of everything. It's how we live our lives. Like, you're at your house more with your guys than you are with your own families and friends. Like, they turn into your own family. It's just the way of life. It's like, you're not, your identity is not a firefighter. It's what you do, but at the same time, all those habits into that. For me, it's the fitness and like the overall health thing majorly, because you're paid to stay in shape, but you also have to stay in shape outside of the job and maintain that. It's a maintenance thing. Just learning how to balance everything and how to make it all work at once.
Yeah.
Okay. If we look at your book again, Is there a specific chapter that means the most to you? One where you feel like this is what you really want people to take away, and maybe something you're especially proud of?
So the whole book, I'm very, very proud of. To answer the last part of the question
Of
first, I
course.
want everybody to read everything. But I'd say for the chapter that I want every single person to ever read, whether you're a firefighter or not, because it's targeted for multiple different audiences, and I can address that. Chapter 30, Surviving and Thriving, is my life story of where I came from, what I overcame, how I got where I did, and finding forgiveness within. Because if you can't forgive yourself, you can't forget, or if you can't forgive others and you say you forgive yourself, you're a hypocrite. You have to learn to be able to forget or forgive. You're never going to forget, but you have to accept what happened and just move on with it and learn from it. Instead of, why is this happening to me? What is this teaching me? That's one of the biggest takeaways. Just kind of don't let your setbacks be the reason why you don't advance in life, or you don't do something, you don't take that big risk because you're scared of the outcome, or you're scared of hitting that rock bottom again. Guess what? You're going to hit rock bottom again and again and again. Sometimes some people might not, but for the most part, you're going to have those multiple setbacks, and it depends on how far you want to push yourself, and if you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe and make it happen. So the chapter really ties into the whole resiliency thing. The book is targeted for anybody who's ever faced adversity, anybody who thinks there's not light at the end of the tunnel. Well, there is. My story is living proof of that. If you're somebody interested in our line of work, guess what? This book's for you. It walks you through the realities of the job, because how many people do you know walk into this job and realize it's not for them because they see a dead body, or they realize how hard the work actually is, because it's a professional job. It's a professional sport, pretty much. Well, it's like a professional sport. It's hard, it's demanding, and it's an ugly job, but it's not for everybody. Captains or chief officers or anybody who's in a ranking position that want to know about what we, because it's such a different generation now versus 30 years ago. You can learn from that and kind of adapt how you go about teaching, because there's so many people in the field now that have disabilities when it comes to like learning, and when it comes to ADHD and attention spans. Like, you can't take a firefighter and make them sit in a classroom and you think they're going to learn for 35 or 40 minutes because you're telling them they have to listen to that lecture. They're hands-on, they want to be able to do stuff, but they want to be able to take away from it. And then basically, like, hey, you're a probationary firefighter, this is your tool in the toolbox, because how many people are thrown to the wolves? They don't know what to expect. Like, maybe I went through the same stuff that you're going through. And also, you're not going to want to listen to a 30 or 40-year guy, like 30, 40 years in the job. You want to listen to something that's relative. Like, it's for everybody. But I know anybody that's brand new, they're not going to want to listen to somebody that has years on it. It's a common statement that I've got. They're like, dude, it's somebody I relate to. I can't relate to somebody that's got all this time in. It's just very pertinent. It's very relevant. So it's a mix of everybody, but it's mainly just it's adversity. It's time and time again, and I could have been dead. I could have been in jail, and I turned my whole life around. The fire service saved my life, so it's a mix of everything. It's very, very unique. It's never been done, but I want everybody to read it. It's not one single firefighter. It's not an officer. It's not it's an everybody book. So, and the reading level, like, as ironic as it is, it's like seventh grade reading level. It's very, very easy, absorbable. The chapters are like 10 pages each, except for the last one, like 20 something pages. So it's attention spans. There's reflection chapters or reflection prompts at the end. It may reflect, and it's like, even people I've gotten with dyslexia, or like, I've never been able to read a book. It's the first book I've ever been able to read before. So
That's very
That's
great. Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
your mindset. So
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
sorry, that was super like of a long response, but
Oh, that's great.
It's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. And thank you. And when the things got difficult along your way, what helped you the most to keep going?
I want to just say that that dog in me that never wanting to quit because I've been out of my whole life, and I'm like, well, I overcome this. I've now overcome that. Well, how much more can I go? How much more can I truly make myself hate myself by putting myself through this? Well, I got through this. How much worse can it be? It really can't. I hit those rock bottoms and those points in my life, so it's just like, yeah, just always keep going. Just keep pushing. So
Great.
Okay, if you had to pass that on to someone else, what would you say to someone who is just about to give up?
just keep pushing. Just keep swimming like Nemo from Finding Dory. Just swim. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. It does get better, but it does get worse before it gets better. And sometimes you're going to get knocked back. And guess what? If you're meeting resistance, you're on the right path. If you're not resistance, you're not on the right path. You got to find stuff that's you. And if you just keep going, pretend you have an imaginary. We're going to pretend we have an imaginary drawing. You have a guy that's on like the end of a rope right here, right? So here's the finish line. He's right here. He's meeting all the resistance. Everything's pushing him, telling him to quit. Here's the finish line right here, and he can't see it because he's literally on that rope, but it's in a pitch black alley. You get a guy that's back here on that same rope. Finish line's here, but it's smooth sailing, smooth sailing. Little bit of resistance, but they keep going. As soon as you get to that end stretch, that guy is right here. What happens when you give up and then you saw that picture?
Mm.
Is this close and I gave up? Just like the same thing with the reps that you do in the gym. There, the $1,000 and say if you do 20 more reps, this $1,000 is yours. Are you going to do those 20 reps, even though it sucks and it burns and it hurts? You're going to because you want that $1,000. So it gets worse before it gets better, but eventually it works out. And if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If it's not, you can't control the outcome, but you can control how you react to it. So just gotta have an open mind with everything and just know like it does get better, but it doesn't happen overnight. So just keep pushing and doing what you gotta do, and eventually it will work out. What's meant for you will find. This chapter's written, the story's written. Just let it ride and learn from it. Learn from it. What is this teaching me? Not why is this happening to me? Change your perspective, and it works out every time. So
Great.
Very great.
With everything you've experienced, what helps you personally to process difficult calls or deal with them when they stay with you?
writing. I write exactly how I talk, and that's the one thing I can just sit there and I will write until I just don't have anything left to write. It's just one of those things I write. I write all the time, especially when I was like, this call definitely suck. It's definitely gonna stick with you. I'm gonna write about it. And then exercising too. It's like lifting really, really heavy. It's just it gives you that sense of like dopamine in a way. Just you get that dopamine hit, like it's conditioning it. And the gear workouts too. But the writing for that, number one, it's one of the biggest things for me because I can just write exactly how I feel, and then I feel better after, and then I kind of get to reflect on it. And why did I react this way? Why did I feel this way? And once I read it, have an actual proper brain where I'm not in that moment and I get time to reflect a little bit, it be like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense. While I was just focused on that one thing, not everything else around. So.
Yeah. That's great. Great.
Yes. So now zoom out for a moment, and if you could wish for one thing that would make the fire service better for everyone, what would it be?
uh, I'd say bad leaders, but you can learn more from a bad leader than you do a good leader. I mean, everybody needs the experience of bad leaders, but I mean, if it was just one of those, I wish there was just more good leaders than anything than bad leaders, because like you can't control it, but it's more stop hiring leaders, ranking officers based off of because they can check off a box on a piece of paper. Can they actually do the work? Are they actually somebody who you can trust? Are they somebody that's personable? Are they somebody that's there for about the job? Are they there for money? Are they there for the title? Are they there because they want a position of power and now they have rank? You have to respect them. Hire based off of somebody who can actually do the job, who has the personable skills, rather than taking a test and see who scores the highest, who checks off the most boxes. you eliminate a lot of issues. I've seen it and I've heard it, and that's one of the biggest common denominators, but a lot of people are scared to say it. Stop hiring based off of a check, hire based off of a skill set and a personable skill set. Like when it comes to talking to people, if you can't talk to people, if you don't like people, why are you in that position?
That's great, yes.
So now we are at the end of our question session. First, I want to say we are here in Europe, so here's the book, and everyone in Europe, every firefighter, every first responder, every police officer, and everyone else, we learned, everyone else had to buy this book now and read it, because I think it's very special. And I'm on the first parts of it because I'm a very slowly reader, but I will I will finish it, and it's a pleasure for us to talk with you and to make this interview with you. So thank you very much for your time for this interview, and maybe we see us in future in real. We went to the US, but now it's Miami and California, but maybe it's Massachusetts next time. So yeah.
Or Georgia.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I know it's available on Amazon. I mean, it's worldwide. The last time I checked, it's like a month or two ago, it said there was 190 countries that is available, 4 different continents. I'm like, this is crazy. It's gotten so much outreach, and it's a blessing. And I'm very humble and very, very just grateful for it, because I have an opportunity that not very many people will ever get, and I took a big risk, and it's very rewarding, but there's still a lot of pushback. I do hope I get to meet you guys sooner or later. I know it's super hard because you guys are 6 hours behind. 6 hours, 6 hours.
Yeah.
So it's just very it's hard to make those schedules align, but it's just super cool getting to talk to you guys and everything. And even though we're in 2 different countries, like at the same time, it's so unique because they're so much similar, even though they're so much different. So, and it sound funny.